Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do this 12 by 12 page with the Sketch Sunday, and I'm using Traci redesigned Sketchy Sunday number 3, and I'm going to use my counterfeit kit challenge kit that I made. So I'm going to scrapbook these two pictures of my oldest. I love these pictures. She looks so happy in them. And I'm cutting this down to be 12 by 12 because I thought maybe I would use the white as my background piece. And then beside here is all my counterfeit kit papers. So I'm going to try and use as many as I can this month. So I thought maybe those tealy ones, but they're just not going to work for me. And so I did pull a lot of Christmassy things because the other kit that this is based off of was Christmassy, but there were some flowers in that one, and so this one is going to work. The photos that I'm doing today are from Canada Day last year, so this works better than the really cool tones. And so on the sketch, there is that 2x3 card, but the sketch is for Traveler's Notebook pages. So I'm actually going to use a 4x6, and my pictures are going to be a little bit bigger because I'm doing it on a 12 by 12. And so I'm just going through all of my different pieces of wood bits, and I'm pulling out those chevrons because it definitely has a chevron on the sketch. And I'm pulling out some circle bits and some butterflies, and I think a camera. I definitely grab a camera too, and just taking a last little look. Those word flags I thought I was going to use, but they're still sitting on my desk in the same spot. And then those ones had some bits and pieces that I thought I might use, and so then this is going to get put away. I pulled those two big pieces out because I thought maybe instead of the yeah, but yeah, that's not going to work for me. So now I am deciding on how I'm going to make these pictures pop on that very busy background. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to crop down the pictures both just a little bit more, just because there was quite a bit of extra in here, and then going to mat them in white and then in blue, or this dark navy, just like that. And I'm going back and forth because I mess up my cutting a lot sometimes. So it was one of those days that I felt like if I didn't measure twice, I'd be cutting lots of pieces of paper, and I really didn't want to. So yes, I'm measuring twice. Well, way more than twice, but this is how I do it sometimes. And I thought I'd leave that in today because sometimes it feels like when you're watching other people, and I do the same thing, that it just comes together so quickly, and these like 15 minutes on YouTube is actually, this process was an hour. So definitely cut some bits and pieces out of the struggle, but sometimes it's nice to see that little bit. And so I was still thinking that I was going to be on this full piece of pattern paper, but I know it's busy and it's bugging me, and I'm just trying to decide what I want to do. So just kind of looking. This is not what it's going to look like at all, but playing around. These circle bits I kind of liked, but And then I do want to get those buttons on, which are on the dark circles on the lower corner. This is when I'm like, would it look better if I had a white mat? A yellow mat? No, that yellow was too much. And look at those. Nope. Distracted myself a bit. Seeing what else I can do to kind of brighten it up. These circle bits I'm going to use in a minute. Just looking at different ways I can embellish because it's bugging me, but So this is when I decide that yes, we'll do a border. I'm going to grab my T-square just so I can see how much of a border I would actually want. And so I'm going to take an inch off of both sides. And then that I like more. But there's a layer bit on the sketch. Actually, there's a few layer bits. And so I still want a layer bit underneath the photos. So I'm going to gut this page. So this ends up being a 12 by 12, and then I take a 8 by 8 out of the center. Because it really doesn't matter if the centerpiece is there or not. And then I'm going to take a look at this piece, and I want about that much. And then I'm going to look again, and I thought maybe just a little bit more. And it still feels like a little much, so I'm thinking, how am I going to work this out? So I need some layers. So I'm going to use the back side of these flowers, which is this polka dot orangey mustard color, which I like. And so I'm just using my scissors and cutting off a corner bit. So that'll go there. I like that. I'm going to do another corner bit for the bottom of this one. And so still just going to cut along the dots, because the dots are straight, and that makes it straight, and I don't have to try and cut it with my trimmer. And on the sketch, these overlap. Actually, on the sketch, it's the same photo ripped in two and then stitched. I wasn't going to do that with my pictures, so this is what I'm going to do instead. And then on this bottom piece, I thought I'd use a piece of this orange, mustardy color, yellow, I don't know, whatever color it is, mustard. And the chevrons can go on top of it, so that kind of works with the sketch a little bit better. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, I like that better. It still seems a little much. And I was going to go for it, and I'm like, what happens if I turn this over? Hey, I like that more. Because I like the piece around my kiddo with the flowers. And I already cut out these other pieces, and I like that more. Now I think it needs just a little bit between that white and the mustard. I thought about black, but my pictures are matted in navy, so I might as well use navy. And so I'm just going to get a little bit of a border done here. And so I'm going to chop off the outside for what I need. And then I'm going to gut the inside, because that gives me some matting material for other projects in navy. And this just all goes into a bin together for my cardstock bits. And then it's easy to get at. And so then this one's going to go here. This one's going to go on top. This is super easy to line up now because of the dots. And so up just a little and on, and I like that. This is going to go on here. I'm going to put a blue navy edge around this, and when I put it down, there's a bit of a line with the ink, so I'm going to fix that in a minute, because now I have a random blue navy line. Just going to make sure this goes on straight. And then I'm going to get, I ran out of tape runner, so I had to go get a new tape runner, and I'm going to get these pictures on with their corner pieces, and I'm liking this a whole lot more. And I am going to put this one flat, and then this one's going to get a little bit of, no, it's flat too. I thought about putting fun foam on them, but it didn't really need it, and there's lots there, and if I want to stitch, the fun foam would be a lot more to go through. So then I decided, so this is gonna have some hidden journaling on it, and this is when I decided I'm just gonna take this edge with this blue ink and make it work all over my page, so it gives a little bit of messiness to it, but it's subtle. And then that one line of ink isn't a big deal now because it's everywhere. So I'm just going to put this piece on, lined up, and then this card, which is going to become a pocket, is going to come down to about here, and I'm just kind of eyeballing. I want it to match up a bit with that bottom piece, but not, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want the chevrons to match up with the bottom. And so that works for me there. I'm going to use my T-square to get these wood chevrons on. And so I'm just going to use some Nouveau. And on these go. I'm just spacing them out evenly. I did have 5 at one point, so I will find that one eventually. The little bike is going to go on here, and in the hidden journaling, there's a little bit about biking in the journaling because my daughter actually biked this weekend. And so I'm not going to show you the journaling because it's a little private, but just popping those butterflies on, and I decided I only need one of those. And now I'm going to do some stitching, and I'm not going to make you watch all of the stitching, but I am going to pull out these 2 blues. So this blue, I'm going to pull out, actually I'm going to do the buttons first. So I pull out this lighter blue, and I'm just going to feed it into the holes on the button. And because of the way my ends are, and because I'm using embroidery thread and how small my button is, I'm just going to thread my needle because that's easier for me. And then I'm going to tie this one into a bow. Into a bow, which is fiddly. I need to sharpen my scissors so they're not so sharp anymore. But then just a dab of glue, and it's going to go there. And then thread this one. And this one is in the darker color as well. And I'm just going to tie this one in a knot. And it is going to go up by the camera. I thought maybe in the camera, but it doesn't need to be in the camera. So, and up there, and then I'm going to do one more button, and this one's going to get that lighter color that I had cut out or cut off to begin with. And so this one's going to get a bow as well. And then it's a little fiddly, but, and it's going to go on this bottom corner. And I thought about wrapping some around the butterfly and making a trail, and I didn't want to do that. And so there's a little bit of stitching on this top photo. And so I'm going to use my template here, and I'm only going to use the zigzag on the paper and the photo. And so because of all the mats and stuff, it goes through 1, 2, 3, 4 layers of paper at least. And then I put a little bit of a back stitch between some of the chevrons on that flower paper. And so now I'm just putting some of the circle bits on. And so it says this, and or PM, and be brave, and taking steps forward, that kind of stuff. So you'll be able to see those in the close-ups here in a minute. So get those on. Add these 2 stars. Actually, there's 3 stars there. And then I found my other chevron, so that's going to go on, which I like more because it extends it to the other mat. And this one says the Be Brave, so it's going to go there. And some more little bits and pieces. And then I was thinking about what tags that I want to use. These little ones would have been okay, but I didn't like them, and I had to come back later. So I pulled out this tag because it's in that crafty color, which matches pretty good with the wood veneer and with the background. And then I'm going to add some enamel dots, and I'm going to do my journaling off screen, but it's going to be right where it is on that tag on the back side with that heart on the front. And so just popping in some of these enamel dots, and it's pretty close to being done. So I got quite a few, that whole sheet I got finished off today, so that was awesome. And here are my close-ups, and there'll be some still shots to follow. I really appreciate you spending your time here today and watching my video. If you liked my video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would love to have you, and have a wonderful day. Thanks so much for watching.